guys, hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily. It's Des here. Ready for Thursday Thoughts and the live episode. Your questions answered. Got some good ones to go at today. A little bit of a running theme, running through them. Running theme plus my personal goals. So it's good to go at them, of course. My real passion's running. Got a big event planned this week, which one of the questions revolves around. So really looking forward to that. Whilst we don't always talk about just running, I like to sort of encourage all kinds of activity, talk about well-being and talk about things that we can use to push on and drive forward. Things we can bring in what don't involve activity. But it's always good to go back to it when people have got questions, when people have got something to ask. It is something I feel is a bit of a strength right now, whilst I'm learning all the time, whilst I'm getting used to what I'm doing. If I can talk about the thing that I probably love the most, as well as football. Done plenty of talking about that this week, haven't we? And lots more to look forward to this weekend. So I won't say any more. We all know what's happening. So alongside football, running is my real passion. So it's great to sort of be able to talk about that again. Before I do get into the questions, I'd just like to say I'm having a really good week, really positive about everything that's going on. Building up to said event, really looking forward to that. But also, end of the month, start of a new month, planning new things in, lots of plans for the future. Getting back to that real sense of normality I spoke about on Wednesday workout yesterday. Being around people, having that connection again, building up relationships. Feels like we're getting back to the old normal. Not that, but you know what I mean. Just some sort of routine and pattern to what I'm doing, and exciting plans. And that's what it's about, isn't it? When you do something as a job like I'm trying to build, building a community interest company, it's all about good spirit, good feeling. And there's lots of that this week. Speaking to one or two people about some exciting plans. Hopefully I can bring that to you in the future. But for the time being, I'm just really enjoying what I'm doing, ploughing through it. I mentioned a couple of weeks ago, I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed and how it would be easy to sort of feel that coming out of lockdown. Whilst we're still not sure what's going to happen, it just feels like day by day, everything's getting back to some sort of normality and we can plan and prepare. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? Going into July is really important. It's the second half of the year. It's hard to believe already. It's flown by, absolutely flown by. And whilst we've been stressing about not being able to do this or that, we all must have been having a good time to some degree. They say time flies when you're having fun. Probably not strictly true, is it? Because we've not been allowed much of it, but we've all found a new way to cope. We've got to this point, I spoke a week or two ago about pushing on, and this is the reason. We're getting to a point halfway through the year. Don't always like to use calendars and dates, but it gives us some structure, doesn't it? Somewhere's got to give us structure. Why not be the start of a new year, the start of a new week, the start of a new month? All these things, just to give us that sort of starting block to work from. If we didn't have that, sometimes it never happens. I've read so much over the last week or two. If we put a date in, put something in the calendar, we're so much likely to do it. I'm really starting to use my own personal calendars. I can be a bit hit and miss with them, and not do it. But I read that if you say you're going to make dietary changes and you say you're going to do this, if you don't do anything to make you do it, you're not going to do it at all, are you? And one thing we can do is plan things in and schedule it. And that's why I do kind of like to work to the calendar whilst it's not essential. So at this point, it's all about pushing on into the second half of the year, hitting it hard. Just got back from a coaching session. Really enjoyed that. At the moment, I'm trying to work on a little bit of consistency with the guys because it's about getting through this period and then taking it to the next step. Hopefully they understand that. But we've just gone through a similar session to the weekend where they absolutely smashed it. Didn't quite achieve the same levels, but it's hot. There's reasons for it, but it's about consistency. It's about trying to find that sort of that top end of your ability and what you can do. And if we're all working to that, whatever sort of, whether it's running, work, everyday life, if we're working sort of to some sort of consistency, we'll get the results ultimately and we'll get through it. Just wanted to kind of say that. I think it's important sort of halfway through as I see it to make that point. Anyway, getting into these questions, like I say, they are about running. It's coming up to sort of running season. Lots of the running guys have got big events planned. I've got big events planned. The stuff we're doing through the coaching is for autumn half marathons and marathons. So it's really exciting. People are starting to really turn their attention to them, and really start to get excited again due to that sort of lessening of the restrictions. It is now becoming a distinct possibility, and everybody's full steam ahead into the training. If they're not, they probably should be. But there you go. First question is from Amanda. Is what made you decide to do the 24-hour challenge? Anybody that's watched DOdaily this week will know that I'm taking on a challenge starting at 5 o'clock tomorrow to run 1 mile every hour for 24 hours. It's not going to be easy. It's not as easy as it sounds. And 1 mile an hour, people might think that's not too bad. Apparently, after 12 or 13, I've watched a couple of YouTube videos of other people doing this challenge. And they say it really kicks in at a point. You feel great for a while, but the fact you're stopping and starting and tiredness, of course, because you don't sleep properly, it gets really difficult. So really, really looking forward to it. Having not worked to a challenge, worked to a structure because of my injury, I needed something. And once I committed to this, I've been really looking forward to it. And that's the first reason, to give me something to aim at, which is doable. Whilst it is difficult, whilst it's not going to be easy, it is doable for me at this stage. It shouldn't take too much out of me in terms of the injury. It'll take a lot out of me in terms of effort. But in terms of the injury, it shouldn't be too hard. I've chosen to use it to support a friend who's doing it as a big charity event. That's the main reason, to be honest, is because I want to support that event through Do Running, through all the things I do with the Community Interest Company. I love to support other projects. Of course, it helps spread the Do Running name as well, spread the word of what we're doing good in the community. And I just want to make a contribution. Some people might say, why is their event? The reality is because I can. And that's what I do. I like to do things for other people, help wherever I possibly can. I talk about all the time how much that makes a difference for our personal mental health, never mind building up those relationships and being involved with other people. That's all kind of a byproduct that what Do Running can do, what I can do. It's just about helping because I can. We've got a community that supports great projects. Simon, the guy I'm sort of doing it alongside, not exactly with, but supporting, is doing it for MNDA. Really an issue that's really close to his heart, MND, motor neurone disease. His dad's unfortunately got it and passed away. So it's really close to his heart. So it's really important to him. And when you hear him speak about it, I've heard him speak a couple of times about his story, and I've read the page. I'll post a link to the page if anybody wants to support that. Please do. He's trying to raise £10,000 and a lot of awareness, and it's an amazing effort. Simon's well connected, so he's got great support. A couple of local sort of celebrities, people, well-known people, to help him. But like I say, I just thought it'd be great to support that, use it for a challenge for myself. But I've also got another event in 3 weeks' time, which is 10K laps throughout a 24-hour period. Not as many, of course. And I'm using it for training for that. What I'm trying to do with my own personal running is just build up again gradually. But whilst I'm trying to do it gradually, the marathons are not too far away, like I said before. And getting over this injury, it's not been easy. So I'm just doing it for several reasons. It makes sense to do it. I feel through the Do Running community and getting people to join me on each leg, I've asked those to sponsor me. So thankfully, I've raised £240. Do Running, the guys who are joining me have raised another near £100. So that's £350 already. And I've got one or two things to sort of add to that. So really just looking forward to being able to do what we can. And at some point, hand over a figure which is worthwhile, substantial, and makes a difference. We're not going to help him raise his 10 grand, but we're going to make a considerable difference. And I'm trying to play my part in that as the person who drives Do Running, as the person who's pushing these things and asking people to get involved, almost trying to set the example as well, and when we can do things like this, it's absolutely amazing. So they're all the reasons I'm doing it. Like I've touched on already, really, really looking forward to it. I went out Monday and ran 5 legs over 5 hours. Felt fine, felt okay. The hardest bit is the motivation to keep getting up. But once you're out there, I felt okay. Not too much it didn't have too much impact on my hamstring, although it was a bit sore yesterday. So I've just managed it through. I've done some light jogging tonight. That's all I kind of did, just to sort of keep myself ticking over. But I feel ready. I feel prepared to do it, and I'm looking forward to running with people, all those people that sponsor me. I can't thank those enough. But also there's 1 or 2 legs where I'll get to do it on my own, especially in the middle of the night. I'm looking forward to that, just to sort of see the sun come up, have that sort of almost use it for a bit of soul searching, I guess, just to sort of realise what I'm doing, take time out whilst I am doing the activity, when I don't do it in such a short space of time. When I'm doing activity over a period, I tend to use it to think a lot and sort of collect my thoughts. And I've almost sort of blanked out a couple of hours in the middle of the night to do that as well. And then on Saturday, I'm due to finish at 4 o'clock, running from home to the local pub to get prepared for the football match. There's going to be some guys meeting me there. We've got a table of 10 books, so I'm really looking forward to that. Really excited about what I'm doing. Really looking forward to the weekend. It's going to be epic. We've said between us, it almost feels like a bit of a bank holiday weekend. And then on Sunday, going to take the pace off a bit. We've got a few friends for dinner. Looking forward to that. So the whole weekend, really, really looking forward to it. What I will say, once again, thank you for those that have supported me and will be joining me. I plan to make a video. I'm going to use it as Monday motivation, just a sort of step by step, mile by mile vlog of how I'm feeling, what I'm doing, who I'm with, all these things, all the usual things. Hopefully people are looking on Monday and realise why. I'm going to post it then and use it to highlight the cause as well, and all the things that surround it and why it's so important to do such things. So hopefully you'll get more from that. But thanks for the question, Amanda. Moving on to question 2. Again, like I say, these are generally running related today. And Dawn asked the question, what do you eat before half marathon? I know personally Dawn signed up for the Robin Hood half. She did it last year, or last time it was on. But unfortunately, she couldn't do it last year, unfortunately. But she had no real aspirations until recently. And she's got mine really focused and giving it a real go now, giving it a big attempt to try and get a PB. She's doing some extra work in terms of the coaching. She's running a lot more regularly. So she's, with it being now, what are we talking? Just under 3 months away, 12 weeks maybe. She's starting to turn her attentions to that. And of course, this is a really important question, isn't it? When we do get talking about running, lots of people sort of think of different things that kind of hold them back. Personally, what I eat before an half marathon is not kind of particularly recommended. I eat a couple of boiled eggs because I really struggle to eat too much. I'm not suggesting that's what I do personally. I take a bit of water and juice on, before I start, and then use the water stations en route just to keep myself topped up. But I find that I really struggle to eat too much. When it comes to what you should eat and when you should eat, probably at least an hour and a half. So it's an early start for 9 a.m, 9:30 a.m. start. You're looking at getting up at 7, 7:30 and sorting your breakfast out. I know Kay has beans on toast a lot. That's often a pre-race meal, but the recommendations you'll see if you look this up is porridge, bananas, blueberries, all these kind of foods that we know do the trick, that sort of fill our body with natural sugars and sort of protein and things like that. Of course, the night before, it's all about the carbs, but not too many. One of the real myths about all this is you should really load up and eat so much pasta and so much all these carbohydrates and all these things. And the reality is you should eat carbs, but you should eat a normal size portion. We're all a bit guilty of thinking we're going to need this energy. But again, we don't want to feel too full up, because it's going to impact us. What I will say, and I'm really guilty of this, make sure you go to the toilet before, because all these things have an impact. If your gut's not right, if your stomach's not right, if you've not had the right thing, you're in real danger of your race exploding and going wrong completely. So it's a real important consideration. If you've got any concerns with food, the best thing to do is before long runs, before training runs, try different things. Try it for time as well. I quite often used to have coffee, and I've realised that that's really not a good thing. Just a coffee because it's part of my routine sometimes at the weekend. So I'll get up and have a cup of coffee, but I've realised that's the last thing I need right now, because it kind of goes through me, and it's just about understanding what works and what doesn't. And like most things when it comes to marathon training, it's trial and error. You just have to find out for yourself what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for another. So I eat a couple of boiled eggs to answer the question. I don't think I've ever read that you should probably eat boiled eggs, but it can't be the worst thing, can it? But at least I'm eating something, and that's most important. Never really over that distance, you should never really go out on a sort of fasting stomach, because you might just run out of energy and not be able to complete. But thanks for the question. Great question, Dawn, and good luck with that half marathon. And again, I've spoke about this. Not sure where this question come from, but I've received it nonetheless. What are your goals for July and the second half of the year? I've spoke about it already, about how important this time of year is and why it's important to push on. But personally, I've mentioned the fact I've got a marathon to train for. I've got some events. I've got lots of events. And some of those, whilst there's official, planned, structured events, whatever way you want to look at it, big races, some of them I'm going to have to use as training runs. I'm going to have to use them for the experience. I decided a long time ago that because they're in such close proximity that I'm going to enjoy some of them, because we can all be a little bit guilty, can't we, of just forgetting about the experience, the place we are. I've gone to different towns and cities and sort of gone into blinkered mode and not looked at anything, and then you think, well, I've been here or I've been there, and it didn't really make a difference, because the reality is you just drove into it, ran with your eyes on the prize almost, and forgot about everything else. So what it gives me, is chance to build up to the big one, which is the marathon. I'd love to be able to give it a real go. I'm not so confident about that right now. There's a lot of work to do for that, but there is still time. There's still plenty of time to do that. So my real goal is to get a marathon PB. I'm not the fastest runner in the world, so it's achievable anyway. It's 4:15 is my PB, which is I'm pleased with. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disrespecting that time. That's magnificent, and anybody who does a marathon knows just finishing is amazing, and the feeling you get is brilliant. But I've got a goal, and people say to me sometimes, you always talk about the fact it's not about fast times, it's not about this. Absolutely not. But we need achievement along the way, don't we? We need little things to keep us ticking over. When you've got that goal, you'll work to it. If it's what I said before, if you've got nothing sort of set in, if you're just doing it because you can, you can easily stop because you can. If there's something you've told yourself, if there's something you've made yourself accountable to, It's brilliant to push on. So my real goal for the year is to get that marathon PB. Will it happen? Possibly not, but I'll give it a go. For July, it's just about being consistent again. The first challenge is tomorrow. There's 24 miles in 24 hours. Getting through that, it'll feel pretty epic. It'll feel amazing. I'll get that sense of achievement again. There's no medal. There's no T-shirt. There's no big fanfare at the end. But I know I'll have done it and I'll really enjoy it. And then another event in 3 weeks. Looking to build on what I do tomorrow. Perhaps do a few more miles on top of that too. So again, just sort of small goals, things I can work at. No expectations with time right now. I'm just getting out there, getting in as many ones as I can to get through the month. What I do want to do is kick back in with some of my early year eating habits and drinking habits. Just slipped off a bit. The injury initially. May is always a busy month for me in terms of holidays and birthdays. No excuses. You can still do it. There's still ways you can get around it. I've done it before. This time last year, I was in the middle of 100 days of no drinking. And then the Euros, of course. But it's time to kick in again, isn't it? I've just spoke about that goal for the end of the year. If I don't make some changes again, if I don't sort of stop overindulging in the summer, another reason. But they're all excuses in reality. I don't like to make excuses. I like to be sort of honest about it and let people know where I'm going wrong. That's what all this is about. It's not about me telling people how to do it. It's about identifying where I've gone wrong, where I can be a bit better. And like I say, just sometimes maybe set the example. Whilst some might not take it, I can only do my best in saying how it is and saying how I experience it. And that's all I need to do. I need to, in July especially, just get back into those really good habits. Keep talking about getting up early, make the most of the early starts. I was actually out last night, at 10:15, and the daylight was incredible how light it was. So if we can use the day to its full potential, that's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? That'll of course start tomorrow with Friday Wake Up to Walk. Of course, the Friday episode at 8 a.m. Thanks for that question, by the way. But the Friday episode will kick in where I'm out and about in the morning. And again, because I'm going to be up early and then, of course, doing that 24-hour event, I'll be getting the real benefits of being out and about. Whilst it's great to get up and know you've sort of set the day off well, I also mentioned there can also use it for slightly different reasons. There's something about being out so early, about the sun coming up, about the blue light. It's amazing for the mind sometimes. So if the mind's right, and that's why I use it quite a lot, to get the mind right rather than think about sort of what I'm going to do next. If the mind falls into place, if everything falls into place in your head, everything else just tends to fall into place. From Friday onwards, when I get up early, I tend to work to a great routine through the week. Of course, it's all planned out now, the weekend. I've got every opportunity to stick to some real structure and to achieve something. I've got the accountability and to take it forward. And that's what it's about. Going back to that question, it's all about taking it forward into the second half of the year and giving it a real big go. Really looking forward to seeing how I get on. Of course, I'll document all this through DOdaily, my personal vlog each day, letting you know how I'm feeling. I'll have my ups and downs. I seem to be riding a wave of enthusiasm and excitement right now. Everything seems to be going well. But don't get me wrong, I know in the next 6 months there'll be low points, there'll be real low points, points when I don't understand what's going on, when I don't understand myself, because that's just life. That's where we are. But by working to those targets, I can really sort of shake myself up and hopefully not get too low. The throwback question this week, of course, I'm talking about goals and aims and attacking the second half of the year. What are your aims for the second half of the year? Please post your answers, guys. It'd be great to share some of these next week. I appreciate some people are a bit nervous about posting and getting involved, but it's a chance just to sort of do your bit, put it out there. Let me know what's being said, and then I can use it. I just got a comment there from Dawn. Good luck with the challenge. You'll smash it. Thanks a lot, and thanks for all the support with it. But yeah, it's a case of sorry, just get rid of that. It's a case of just pushing on, isn't it? So if you can sort of help inspire people, if you can encourage people by saying something, if you put it out there, so I can keep a bit of a document back of it and keep referring back, it might just be all you need to finish the year strong, and that's what it's about, isn't it? I talk about it day in, day out, week in, week out. If we can look back and say it's been okay, we're winning, aren't we? Okay is good. Life doesn't have to be in the fast lane all the time, because we know when it is, it all tends to end in a brick wall, with a sharp hole, and we end up sort of behind the 8 ball, so to speak. So it's just about sort of ticking over, giving it a real go, doing all the things we know that work. None of this is rocket science. None of it is going to sort of enlighten your life and make you feel amazing. What it might do is just make you realize that we can all do it. It's all relatable and honest, and everybody experiences the ups and downs. And if you sort of communicate, again, I spoke about that a lot yesterday, and interact with people is absolutely brilliant, isn't it? That's what the throwback question's all about. And of course, if you've got any questions, please drop them on any of the comments for any of the videos, especially today's. Why not do it now? There must be a burning question. There must be something that I've said where it's posed the question in your mind, or it's made you think. Ask me to reiterate it. Again, it's all about the reminder. So post on any of the links. Email des@dorunning.org.uk. If you'd rather it be anonymous, you can ask me anything, and anything about yourself. I can keep it anonymous and not say who it is. That's absolutely fine. Whether it's running, how we tackle the rest of the year, COVID, what challenges you've got, what advice you need for this event, I can answer absolutely anything, because I'm prepared to put myself out there. I'm prepared to do what I have to do to help others and to help myself. And that's all it ultimately boils down to. So, like I say, that throwback question, what are your aims for the second half of the year? I'd love to hear those. I'd love to share them next week. I'll be back tomorrow for Wake Up to Walk. I'll be rejoining the Robin Hood Way up bright and early, despite the extended evening tomorrow. Hopefully I can get a few hours kip in the afternoon. But I wouldn't miss this, because it's all part of what I do. I'm looking forward to that part of it as well. So whilst I've got a real epic challenge tomorrow, I'm also taking part in this small challenge. But these are the things that work for me. This one is even easier to achieve than most, apart from the fact it takes commitment, time, dedication, planning. Those are all the things that come for free. They don't take massive amounts of physical exertion, but you still have to put so much into it. So whilst I've got the big challenge, I've got a small one as well. It's an amazing feeling when you can tick these things off, and that's why I do it. So tune in, see what I'm up to, where I'm at. Hopefully there's lots of points of interest where I can pass on some interesting facts. If not, well, if so, or if not, I'll be telling you why I'm doing it, reflecting on the week, looking forward even more to the weekend. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for all the support. Really enjoying it as ever. Trying to stay on top of things, trying to use everything that I've got, trying to use the positivity of others and the people around me, trying to use the energy. And that's important, isn't it? Trying to get energy into everything we do. If we can do that, we'll be absolutely fantastic. Take it into the rest of the day. If you can, tune in the morning. If you can, get up in the morning, get out for a walk, get out for a run, whatever you need to do. You'll feel all the benefits I'm going to talk about. Until then, have a great evening. Just doing it.